We got married April 6th and divorced May 28th.
So you're divorced?
Yes. But there is a 90-day waiting period in Islam where it's basically you have 90 days to see if you're pregnant, because then he would be responsible, right? And then also in those 90 days, it's for reconciliation because Allah wants you to stay married. And then during those 90 days, you are not to entertain anybody romantically. So what I will say is that Islam has made my life a lot easier. I think even with this transition and, things changing, honestly, it's I don't think anybody gets married to not stay married.
The internet loves a good love story. Even more than that, it loves a breakup. And when celebrities are involved, especially ones who speak about spirituality, loyalty, and soul ties, the noise gets louder. This time, all eyes weren't just on Kevin Gates and Brittany Renner. The real shock came from someone people did not expect to hear from, Dreka Gates, the woman who stood beside Kevin before the fame peaks, before the chaos, before the constant headlines. The woman who watched from a distance as Kevin moved on, remarried, and then divorced just as fast. And when Dreka finally reacted, the internet froze. Because this wasn't loud, it wasn't messy, it was calm, sharp, and deeply telling. The kind of reaction that says more in silence than shouting ever could. People started asking questions immediately. Was this shade? Was this closure? Or was this Dreka finally saying what she had been holding in for years?
I don't like the way Savannah look at LeBron. I like the way them white women look at LeBron. When soon as he walk out there, they just be like, oh. They be. But it's I noticed when he go do the handshake with the main player on his team, which is that, it's you act like I'm bothering you.
Because when someone who knows you better than anyone speaks, even a few words can feel like a mirror being held up to the truth, and that truth made a lot of people uncomfortable. To understand why Dreka's reaction hit so hard, you have to understand who she is and what she represented in Kevin Gates' life. Dreka wasn't just a wife. She was his manager, his anchor, his ride or die during his darkest moments. She was there when Kevin was struggling, when the industry wasn't checking for him, when life felt unstable. They built something together, not just a marriage, but a brand, a family, a shared identity. Kevin often spoke about Dreka as his backbone, the woman who understood his mind and spirit. But even relationships that look unbreakable from the outside can slowly crack on the inside. Over time, rumors of infidelity, emotional distance, and spiritual confusion began to surround their marriage. Dreka stayed quiet, too quiet for people who wanted drama. She focused on healing, nature, fitness, and her children. Meanwhile, Kevin moved loudly. He spoke openly about polygamy, desire, and unconventional love. Some fans admired his honesty. Others saw it as disrespect. But through it all, Dreka didn't respond. She watched, she healed, and she let time reveal what words never could. Then came Brittany Renner. Confident, outspoken, controversial. Brittany has never been afraid of attention, and she owns that. When news broke that Kevin and Brittany had married, people were shocked. Some were rooting for them, others already had their popcorn ready. The relationship moved fast. Public declarations, spiritual talk, matching energy conversations. Brittany spoke about soul connections. Kevin spoke about purpose. It all sounded deep, intense, almost rushed. And then, just as quickly as it began, it ended. Divorce papers, Instagram statements, confusion everywhere. People started asking the same question.
Are you guys married? Or is this I don't know. How does this, I mean, first of all, Kevin's the best. You got to keep her. He's a great guy. Very, very, very. Is he still, are you guys, is he going, did you release his semen retention?
Okay, first of all, you asked 3 questions. So,
okay, well, first things first. He was doing semen retention last time I saw him. Has the retention been lifted?
Okay, well, that's a question you'd have to ask him.
Okay.
But we got married April 6th and divorced May 28th.
So you're divorced?
Yes. But there is a 90-day waiting period in Islam where it's basically you have 90 days to see if you're pregnant, because then he would be responsible, right? And then also in those 90 days, it's for reconciliation, because Allah wants you to stay married. And then during those 90 days, you are not to entertain anybody romantically. So what I will say is that Islam has made my life a lot easier. I think even with this transition and, things changing, honestly, it's I don't think anybody gets married to not stay married. So I think my biggest thing for me is this is a nice 90-day reset, just focusing on myself and pouring into myself. And what I also will add is that I followed my heart, and that's more than what most people can say in this world. And I have no shame in that. That's why I'm here. BET Awards. As you can see, I'm out here on this block myself.
Yeah, I feel like you've always been, I think anybody who ever speaks with you or listens to your long form conversations will have, I feel like you have your misconceptions, because obviously you're in tabloids, you're on Wives, you're online.
Yeah.
People make their assumptions about you and who you are. But I feel like anybody who's ever heard you speak and articulate yourself knows that you have a great head on your shoulders and you're not some, you know what I'm saying? So, damn, so the divorce was a week ago. Damn. Was that
many plan, but Allah is the best of planners. So I don't question that, and I don't feel like it's a situation, because what is meant to be is always going to be,
So you guys end up divorced, and now there's a 90-day cool off period if it reconciles, or you happen to be with child.
No, I'm not with child.
You're not. Okay.
No,
okay. I don't know. That's what you said.
No. I'm saying that's what the time period is for. Yeah.
Rule.
That's why that's in place for that. So it's so basically, if you were to, divorce, and then he's like, oh, it's not mine. So there's the 3 cycles. That's kind of why it's 90 days. 3 cycles.
I can imagine being who you are, how much courage and how much it takes for you to step out publicly with somebody. Are you good?
All is truly well. I'm here, aren't I?
Yeah. I don't know. I can just.
Yeah. No. If I wasn't okay, like I said, I would.
Because I know you. You. I feel like you stepping out publicly with somebody is huge for you personally, as for anybody. But you're a public figure, and
yeah.
How did something so divine collapse so fast? And right in the middle of that chaos, Dreka reacted. But here's the twist. Dreka didn't drag anyone. She didn't name call. She didn't cry on camera. Instead, she shared messages that many felt were pointed but powerful. Words about discernment, about clout, about people chasing attention instead of truth, about spiritual performances versus real inner work. She didn't say Kevin's name, she didn't say Brittany's name, but everyone knew exactly who she was talking about. That's what made it hit harder. Because when someone who's done the work speaks, it doesn't sound angry, it sounds clear. What nobody expected was how many people sided with Dreka. Even people who once criticized her silence started saying, "She tried to tell us." Fans revisited old interviews, old clips, old warnings Kevin himself had given about lust, temptation, and ego. Suddenly, the pieces started connecting. Brittany's marriage looked less like a fairy tale and more like a moment, a headline, a cloud-driven collision between two people who both love intensity but maybe not stability. And Dreka's reaction felt like a reminder that real love isn't loud. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't rush to prove itself. People began dissecting Dreka's words line by line. When she mentioned cloud chasers, many felt that was the clearest message of all. Because in today's world, attention is currency. Relationships become content. Marriages become marketing. And when the likes slow down, the love does too. Dreka wasn't judging. She was observing, from a place of experience, from someone who had lived through the highs and lows without turning it into a show. The emotional impact of this whole situation runs deeper than a celebrity divorce. It highlights how unresolved trauma repeats itself, how patterns don't change just because the person does. Kevin Gates has always been open about his struggles, his desires, his contradictions. Brittany Renner has always been open about her hunger for love, validation, and meaning. And Dreka has always been open about healing, growth, and self-awareness. 3 different paths, 3 different outcomes. And when those paths crossed, the results were exactly what many feared. For Dreka, this moment wasn't about winning. It was about confirmation. Confirmation that walking away was necessary. Confirmation that silence was strength. Confirmation that you don't have to prove your worth when time eventually tells the story for you. Watching Kevin remarry and divorce so quickly likely reopened old wounds, but instead of reacting emotionally, Dreka responded spiritually. That's growth, that's maturity, and that's why her reaction carried weight. For Kevin, this divorce added another chapter to a complicated love life that's often conflicted with his wisdom-filled lyrics. Fans began questioning whether he lives the lessons he teaches. For Brittany, the fallout was harsh. Public judgment, online jokes, and people accusing her of chasing fame through relationships. Whether fair or not, that label stuck. And Dreka's words, subtle as they were, felt like the final stamp on that narrative. In the end, this story isn't just about divorce. It's about illusion versus reality, about how love built on excitement alone often burns out fast, about how healing looks boring until it saves you. Dreka's reaction wasn't loud, but it was lasting. It reminded people that sometimes the most powerful response is simply standing in your truth and letting others expose themselves. And as the internet moves on to the next headline, one thing remains clear. Not everyone who smiles with you is meant to stay. Not every spiritual conversation equals spiritual growth. And not every marriage is built to last, especially when it's rushed for attention instead of rooted in understanding. Dreka didn't need to say much because her peace spoke for her, and that, more than anything, is what made her reaction unforgettable.